Come and take a class at the Alteration.
All right, everybody, welcome to another wonderful episode of Alter Academy. Today we have brought some spice, fresh off a commendable performance at a set champ, host of the Tales of the Meta podcast and puppy enthusiast, Michael Lemke, everybody.
Hey guys, JBaum, thanks for having me. I'm excited to finally get a little deep dive into the puppy deck.
Yeah, I'm excited. We saw a puppy deck at Worlds, so I wanted to get a puppy list on, especially during this time right before set champs, where a lot of people are going to be excited to play something a little off meta and something that can win. So let's get right into it and tell me about this list and how you cooked it up and how it's doing in your meta.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'll say that for me, a puppy deck has to have at least 15 puppies. I know I kept saying that Ellie did have a puppy deck, but 15 puppies is canon to the movie. There were 15 original puppies. And so for me personally, if I'm going to run it, got to have 15. So that's why there's 11 of the tail waggers in there. So that we get to, with patch, we get to the 15. Now, I will say this has quite a little different play style than Ellie's, I think. Mm-hmm. Something that a lot of people have been kind of, I don't know, pointing out or think that I'm doing wrong is the only two Ludwig, 2 Piglet, and 2 ladies. So I think that's something interesting that I've kind of gone down on those because I just want to be fast, to be honest. And we are in a steel heavy meta. So the Piglet and the lady just don't survive very long. Mm-hmm. Right? So I've kind of cut back on those. But other than that, it's kind of very similar to his, a little less ward characters. But the ward characters put in a lot of work in this list. Alice and the Wendy. And then something that I've been surprising people with is the Anna. So the 2-drop Anna, the 1/4, that can potentially quest for 2.
Yeah.
So there's, surprisingly, when I looked at this list, something that kind of jumped out at me that I didn't realize when I was building it is how many heroes there are. Mm-hmm. So it's just chock full of heroes. I mean, you got the Bells, the Alice, Thunderbolt's a hero. So it does really well with that.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, this was always a card that I wanted to play, and this was kind of the only color combo that it really, really could work in because of just where the heroes laid. And so I'm glad you're actually using it to some benefit because she's about to get rotated out, and I never figured her out.
Yeah, I don't think she just doesn't fit in any other decks. I mean, unless if there a blue steel hero deck that comes up, maybe she'd make it in. But if you're talking steel, there's just so many other stronger 2-drops, which I think that's why she kind of fits in this deck is because you are just trying to get a wide variety of 2-drops that have kind of utility. And so, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. She's a really cool card. Being able to quest for 2 and being a 1/4 that's inkable, I mean, it's kind of like a Daisy that doesn't have the punish ability of giving them a card.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Yeah, that's one thing I found is not questing the Daisy has been, it's always a choice, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to give them a card or not. So.
Yeah, and then you've got Sven, which is one of my favorite aggressive cards, just because you can really lock a lot of decks that aren't steel into getting a lot more lore with your characters with readying them. The deck I covered last week with Justin, he used the Goofy approach, which has a very similar role. And actually, the day after I recorded it, I played him in the finals of a tournament, and he did the combo with readying the characters. And I had Maui, I had Super Goof, couldn't do anything because of him readying the characters. And so I love Sven from an aggro perspective.
I do too. So he's almost exclusively for the ward characters. Mm-hmm. Like if you have Alice out and you can use Alice to quest and give somebody else ward, and then use Sven, now you have an extra ward character on the board that a lot of decks just can't deal with.
Right. Yeah, and
which I think that's why I've found so much success with this deck recently is because there's just so much steel. And if you put an Alice, if you put a Wendy Darling out there, they just can't do anything. Like the ward character, like they just don't have anything. There's not too many grab your swords that would kill the Wendy. Some people are playing Tinkerbell, but really not that many, right?
Right.
So the ward characters just kind of stick. But I will say it's kind of a hard deck to pilot. You kind of have to pick your moments on when to quest and when not to quest.
Yeah, agreed. All right, well, I think we got a great baseline here, so let's jump straight into the altars and start, as we always do on Altar Academy, with blind on the play.
Okay, so blind on the play. What I'm really going to be looking for are my turn 1, turn 2. So I'm probably only keeping Daisy Duck.
Really?
Because I'm really looking for another 1-drop, Popsicle Bell combo, or a Thunderbolt to potentially hold. And so I'm just getting rid of everything. If I'm feeling really frisky and I want to keep the Alice, I might keep the Alice. But it's just, I really want either another 1-drop or maybe a Cruella for 2, or just having that other 1-drop is really what we need. So.
Yeah. And see, here's where I would have been wrong. I would have been happy seeing the Daisy into Piglet into Lady into an Anna right there. But
yeah, so I think that's not a bad line. But I really it can get punished really hard, right? So if we're going blind, if they play Cindy turn 1, we're kind of toast. I mean, we can do Anna turn 2 instead of Piglet maybe. But it's just harder to get there, and so blind I would just keep the Daisy, and hope for either a Daisy patch or Popsicle Bell off the mull.
Yeah, and that's my favorite part of Altar Academy is I'm learning all these altars too, because there's a lot of decks I don't fully understand, and so this one I coming off the bat out of the gates here, just learning a whole lot about how this aggressive deck works. So. This has been...
And I'll tell you, so altering this deck has really changed, like my altar phase has really changed over time. So I've been trying to get something like this to work pretty much the entire set, since I knew that patch was coming out. And really going aggressively for that turn 1, turn 2, where you can really kind of get more characters on the board than them, has really been game changing for me in the success of the deck.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we get here.
So going blind, I mean, I feel like this is we just got a great mulligan right there. So we're going Daisy turn 1, and then depending on what they do turn 2, we're either going to play the Ludwig, the Cruella, or just the Dalmatian puppy.
Yeah.
Which is really nice that we can kind of go any direction. A lot of times, so the Cruella's really, I mean, obviously Cruella's in there for Diablo, right? So if they don't play the Diablo, we're probably just going to ink it, and then try to race any green deck, which is kind of the thought process. Because they're really, I mean, Shaft always points this out to me. There's really no answers for Diablo other than Cruella.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say pretty good mulligan. We're going to be off to the races. Invited to the Ball is going to kind of retool us. There's 6 non-characters. 2 of them are invited to the ball. So if we do play an invited to the ball, there's only 5 non-characters that we can pull. So usually we're going to get at least 1, probably 2 characters off that, for sure.
Yeah, all right.
That was a lucky first one. I like that.
Yeah, definitely a great first one here to start off the show. So let's go into blind on the draw now.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is a pretty good on the draw.
Whenever you have Bell on the draw, you're feeling good.
Yeah, Bell Popsicle on the draw is phenomenal. And then we have enough ink, so I'm gonna keep the Thunderbolt and the Alice, especially on the draw. If we can establish Alice and then get Thunderbolt out, it's just gonna be really good for us.
Oh yeah.
So I would keep Alice, Popsicle, Thunderbolt, and Bell. So we're gonna get rid of the Sven, Piglet, and one of the Thunderbolts. To see if we can hopefully get a puppy, because a puppy turn 2, either one, and then we can play Alice turn 3 and then shift Thunderbolt. We'll just it's hard to deal with for anything other than Amethyst.
Yeah, and then you give it Ward, and you've got a 3/7 bodyguard questing for 3 with Ward on turn 4, and yeah, I think that game's over then.
I mean, yeah, that's a 5-turn quest. Like that's 5 quests if they get rid of Bell, 6 questing if you still have Bell out. So one thing, thinking about coming into this, when I was going to talk with you about it, one of the things that I kind of noticed about this deck is that to win, at some point you have to quest for 6 or more and keep characters on the board.
Yeah.
That's your path to victory, is that bulk quest and have a bunch of characters still survive, which is what Thunderbolt does.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
All right,
let's see what we get here.
Yeah, so I mean, I love this.
Yeah.
Because depending on what they're doing, like, unless it's red-blue, I mean, unless it's a B-Prep or a big Sisu are coming, this is just going to be hard for most decks to deal with.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, 2 in a row. Two good ones. I like that.
Yeah, starting off strong.
But I think this one, so Lady will probably be ink. Because
Right.
we just don't have much ink. So unless we're drawing ink. And I think the deck's on, what, like 18 uninkables?
Yeah.
I think. Something high. I mean, it's uninkables are tough with this deck. If you kind of get a string of those drawn in a row that you didn't really plan to. But you also, I mean, how much ink do you really need with this deck?
Yeah. Not too much.
Like, if you get to 3, you're probably not going to be stuck because all
Right.
the uninkables are 3 or less.
Mm-hmm.
So 3-4 ink is really where the sweet spot.
Perfect.
But that was a good one on the draw.
Yeah.
But I do like Patch. I also like Patch on the draw because it has Ward, so they really can't do anything with it. It just kind of establishes board presence early.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, let's go into a deck that's been getting pretty popular just in time for set champs with Ruby, Sapphire, Shark on the play.
Okay, so Ruby, Sapphire, Shark on the play. So our goal here is going to be to go as fast as possible. So for this one, and I also think that with some of those decks that do have the big board wipe, so you're talking Under the Sea, B-Prep, Big Sisu, being able to draw some extra cards really will help you in the end if you can get a draw target.
Yeah.
Now, how many of those targets are there in a Ruby Sapphire deck for your Rapunzel? Not too many, unless we can get Daisy out first.
Yeah.
And have like a Grandma Tala or a Tipo. I mean, you can get one from Tipo.
Yeah.
So for this one, I'm probably only gonna keep the Patch and the Alice. I don't even think I would. Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna keep the Patch. Oh yeah, you got it. Sorry, I didn't see the X. I didn't see the not X. Yep. And that's because you really do want the one drop on turn 2. But Popsicle is too big of a risk for the Bell.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. And the quest for 1 isn't going to do a whole lot for Shark, and so if you get it, it's not even that great. So I'm with you here.
No, it's really not. I mean, it's okay it's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of about it.
Yeah. All right, let's go and see what we get. These Alices are really finding us today.
Yeah, we love this against them, and then Wendy Darling is probably one of the most important cards to finish the game against your red-blue Shark.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only card in their deck that gets rid of it when it's not exerted is going to be B-Prep.
Yep.
Because you can't do anything else to it. You can't Sisu it, can't do anything. So I love getting a Wendy early, and I'm going to try to hold on to that as long as possible.
Yeah, 100%. And this is a hand that's just going to go lightning fast, and I don't even think it matters that it's Ruby Shark. I think you're going to win a lot of games with this hand against anything.
Yeah, if you're going first with this hand, I mean, it's to be ideal. It would either have a Bell or another one drop. Yeah. But I mean, if you just go Daisy first and then Patch something, right? The only other better on the draw or on the play against a Ruby Sapphire would be if you can get that turn 2 Ludwig.
Yeah.
Because if you can get the turn 2 Ludwig and rip their Sail or rip their How Far I'll Go, it really hinders them.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to ramp. They need to. I think essentially they need to ramp 2 or 3 times to beat this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, let's do Ruby Sapphire Shark on the draw now.
Yep, on the draw. So I think if we want to try to punish them a little bit, we can actually keep the Piglet on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go patch into Piglet. I'm not sure I would mulligan anything on this.
Oh wow.
I'm not sure I would. But you can go patch Piglet, Wendy, and then shift Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's worth the risk to try to do something else. If you really want, and because against Ruby Sapphire, if they're playing Brawl and if they brawl on turn 3,
they're not ramping.
Right. And so like, okay, yeah, they got rid of that Piglet, but okay, now they have 4 ink. I don't know what else are they gonna do. So
yeah,
right. I mean, like,
and that's always the
needed
curse.
A ramp there.
That's always the curse.
Yeah,
it's like you take out the lore, but you just don't do anything to advance your game. So you might take off 3 lore this turn as the Ruby Sapphire player, but then you actually give them more lore because now it takes you an extra turn or 2 to get to that board wipe, and so you go on this like sunk cost fallacy here, and you actually lose more lore than the Brawl earned. So that's why a lot of people have cut Brawl in the recent
right. That's what DKP was saying. Like he just cut it entirely because he was like, okay, why would I play a Brawl when I can just ramp to get to Big Sisu, ramp to get to B prep or whatever it is, or ramp to get to Shark and do something, right?
Right.
So yeah, and this would be this against that deck. The Shark deck is probably, or maybe the items too, are probably the only 2 decks where I'm going to be keeping Piglet.
Yeah.
And actually using Piglet on turn 2. Most other decks have a good answer for it. And I think with this, I would play it safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, right?
All right. Let's go into Emerald Steel discard on the play.
Okay, on the play. Okay. So I do like Invited to the Ball, but we're not going to keep it because we're not going to play it early. If we're talking about Emerald Steel discard, I think we're just going to try to race and get rid of all of our cards before they can do anything. So I think I'm going to keep 1 Alice. Alice is good against Steel.
Yeah.
And just mulligan the rest.
All
so
right.
I think we need are we on the draw or on the play?
We're on the play.
On the play. Yes, we definitely need a 1 drop.
Yeah. All right. Easy enough. We got a quick one here. Let's see what we get, and we are
Beautiful.
loving it.
Yeah.
And interesting to note, Invited to the Ball says put the revealed characters into your hand. So if they do have Diablo out, they're not feasting off of that. So make sure you guys know that.
Yeah, it circumvents the Diablo, which is why we're saying, okay, let's just race.
Yeah.
Right. I don't really care if you keep drawing cards, because however many cards, like you're not going to be ramping up. You're not going to be doing anything with all those cards. And if you're like hard playing songs, or if you're trying to set stuff up, this deck's just going to go so fast.
Now I have to ask you: are you playing the Continentals Invited to the Ball in your deck?
I am not.
Yeah, I mean, how could
I
you?
wish. I think so. Our buddy Chris won one when he went to Continentals, or he had one. And I think he sold it, or the offer. Because I definitely texted him. I was like, I need this in my deck.
Yeah.
And I think he had an offer for like $1,200.
Yeah, that's about right.
And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play it in my deck. Thanks, but no thanks. So I wish that would be fun. There's only 2, so it would only be like 2,500, right? 24. I bet I could get a deal if someone had 2. No.
Yeah.
But this hand seems great. I mean, Daisy turn 1. And then see if we can either draw the bell or draw another 1-drop, and then probably just patch turn 2, unless they really establish something that we think we need to invite it to the ball. Which I would probably, maybe if they morph turn 2, then I might invite it to the ball. That might be my play. But if they're just doing like their Ursula or something else, or Diablo Shift and not morph or something, then I'm probably not playing Invited to the Ball until a little bit later.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's do Emerald Steel discard on the draw now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we got invited to the ball again. So this is on the draw is when we don't know if we want to use Cruella or not. Because if they have a song, are they just going to get rid of it? But if they get rid of Cruella with a song, does that lead us into something else better later? So like if they strength Cruella, that's definitely a positive for us.
Right.
Because strength is one of the best cards to get rid of Thunderbolt. So I think I'm probably going to... Let's see. We're definitely going to get rid of Invited to the Ball. And I think that's going to be it for this one.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think we have our turn 1, turn 2 established. If they don't play Diablo or they don't do something and I don't want the Cruella, then I'm just going to put a puppy out there and quest with patch for 2. Which, I mean, Emerald Steel occasionally does miss that 1-drop, right? They're not running very many. And so you can kind of steal maybe a couple lore with patch if you can get something established early.
Definitely. Okay.
And then I think there's plenty of characters in Emerald Steel for the Rapunzel to actually have value.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff that your characters can crash into, survive, and get 1 or 2 cards easy. That 3rd card's gonna be tough, but 1 or 2 for sure.
Yeah, the 3rd. Yeah, but I think 2. You can usually get 2. Yeah, there's not very many 3s. But I mean, maybe Smee. But are people still playing Smee with
not in the discard, but there are tempo versions that do. But speaking of Smee, let's go into Amber Steel.
Oh wait, we gotta see what we gotta get our.
Oh yeah, we got our 1 card first. Right.
Oh yeah, Thunderbolt. That's a great card. Love that.
Yeah. So we're
that means
with the game plan.
So patch 1, Dalmatian 2, we could potentially have 2 Thunderbolt shifts if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Which would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know how Emerald Steel is gonna get rid of the double Thunderbolt early unless they can have like a shift beast into Bruno.
Yeah, I mean this was Emerald Steel discard was one of my wins at the set champs last weekend.
Yeah.
So I did get paired up with them, and yeah, that was one of the wins.
Yeah,
nice.
I find that matchup. It's if they don't have Shift Diablo, it's one of the easiest wins. But if they have Shift Diablo, it gets real tough, and so it's kind of on a do they have it or don't they have it? I'm gonna do my game, and I hope they don't have it type situation. So
yeah, and then if we get past that and we can kind of empty the hand here, as long as they don't have muses or something with like bounce, or it can typically run away with it and quest for quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay, and now we will get into Smee with the Amber Steel wheel on the play.
Okay, so wheel. So we're doing Whole New World. We're gonna be on the play. So yes, we're definitely trying to get Thunderbolt out, and we are gonna be able to use Rapunzel. Pretty sure. So I'm gonna definitely get rid of Invited to the Ball. We don't have Bell for Popsicle, so I'm probably going to get rid of Popsicle. And then we have to decide if we think Anna or Patch is going to be a better turn 2 play. And I think Patch, so we can potentially Thunderbolt and kill a Smee if they quest it, or really have that kind of aggressive line. So I am going to get rid of the Anna here. And hope for a second 1-drop, but if there's not a second 1-drop, I think just going Daisy into Patch is not going to be terrible. Against your Amber Steel.
No, I like that a lot. So let's see what we get.
Nice. So we got 2 patches.
Yeah, and you see it. You send the pop back in the pop's place is the bell.
Happens. You got to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like you got to mentally, because the other option, which I'm definitely a gambler, so I love that. The other option is okay. Let's keep the popsicle and hope for a bell.
Right.
But then you're like, but then if you don't get it, it's even worse.
Right.
Now, I will say that I think with this deck, depending on if we think they're going to wheel or not, Rapunzel might be early ink. Because you don't want to Rapunzel and then have them wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
But Rapunzel's just a good card. I mean, it's 1/5, so I think we're set up pretty good here. Windy Darling is really good against your Amber Steel. Especially, I mean, something that I haven't talked about much with Wendy Darling is one of her best assets is the support. So you can really, I mean, you can use the patch to trade into things. You can use, I mean, Daisy can then attack for 4. So I really like the support on Windy. It does bring a lot of utility if you're trying to play a little bit of defense.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go into our last one of the day, Amber Steel Wheel on the draw.
Amber Steel Wheel on the draw. Okay. So we're if before we even looked at this, I was gonna say we are hard mulling for Daisy.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, so that's that was our goal. And then if we can get a 2, the Dalmatian puppy on 2 is really good. Especially if you can get that Windy on turn 3 to then get the support. And then Ward with Alice is good, but I don't know if we're really going to keep it. I think we're just going to keep the Daisy Duck and 1 puppy. Sometimes I would get rid of the puppy if I was really looking for something else. So if we didn't have the Daisy, I would just be mulling everything.
Yeah.
But since we have the Daisy, I want to play it safe. I mean, with 11 puppies, typically you're going to get another one. But then it just becomes ink. So I play it safe and keep that puppy here.
Got it. All right, let's see what we get here.
Oh, this is beautiful. That Ludwig.
Yeah, he's been weirdly missing from all of our altars today, but I'm glad he showed up.
He has, I think,
here in the end.
I think we saw him once.
Yeah.
He's really good. I think he's kind of like Pete, right? If you use him at the right time, it can be super strong. The reason that there's only 2 in the deck, even though he is super strong, is that getting 2 of them just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and he's not really your kind of plan A game plan. He's there to just make sure they don't board wipe you, and maybe get you some extra ink early. But for the most part, he's just kind of like your Pete spot, protecting you that one important turn for you to get to the finish line.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, I like it when it's free ink because then you really don't have to ink and you can conserve that card. But if you're playing him on 2, even if they get rid of him right there, I mean, jumping from 3 ink to 4 ink is not really that big of a deal because our 3-cost characters are just kind of the bread and butter for this. Your Alice, Wendy, your Shift Thunderbolt. So the ramping's not as important, but he's a great card to rip just anything from them, especially Steel, and then especially all your ramp decks.
Yeah, got it.
I feel decent about this going into Amber Steel. That was another one that I beat Amber Steel. At the set champ.
You just kind of have a lot of ward characters, which is kind of the crux of what Amber Steel does, because all their removal is pretty much targeted as they're not on Big Tink or Grab Your Swords. And so if you can just get like an early lead, even if they start doing all of their singers and wheels and such, if you just drop a couple word characters at like 12 or so lore, they can't do anything, and then it's over. So I see.
Right. I think that's one of the things is you try to get a character advantage early so that you can quest and still maintain the board presence. Mm-hmm. Because you can't just quest and have them kill everything.
Yeah.
And then use those ward characters to finish the game off. I think one of the most underrated moves that not a lot of people kind of expect to see coming because they think it's kind of a waste is Alice warding a character that's drying.
Yeah.
Because then it's almost a guarantee quest from them.
Right.
So late game, warding a Daisy so that you can quest for 2 or a Rapunzel has really been a key in finishing some of those games.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you there. All right. All right, Michael. As we wrap up today, are there any shout-outs you want to say?
Yeah, for sure. So I think you had Shaft on a couple weeks ago, Justin Shaft, world-class cards. Shout out to them. They've been doing a lot of social media stuff. You've been doing a lot of stuff with them. It's been awesome. So shout out to them. We have started a podcast, Tales of the Meta, TAILS.
The link is down in the description.
Perfect. Link down below. I talk about puppies almost every week. Shaft hates it, but I love it. Shout out to Shaft that he does not have a Jafar promo yet, but Puppies has secured a Jafar promo, so that's fun.
Excellent.
And then just shout out to all our locals here in Houston. It's just a good community here. It's a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we're going to get someone to host a bigger tournament so we can kind of showcase and have some people fly in or drive in to do a big tournament here. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice scene in Houston. So
yeah, awesome.
Check out the podcast and reach out if you have any puppy questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on, Michael. I really appreciate you reaching out. I have not actually had many people reach out to do this, and so I was excited to see a puppy deck that's winning. So if you want your deck and you think it's spicy enough, submit it. Maybe I'll put it on if it's winning, if it's crazy, if it's got some heat. Come talk to me. I want to put it on. So thank you for watching, everybody, and until next time, this has been Alter Academy.